best if you secure the supply chain from beginning to end. As an example, the state of Georgia, one of the #1 row crops is cotton. Okay, Prada, Gucci, Nike buy Georgia's cotton to this day. Okay, so when we look at the Kanye's of the world or Pharrell's of the world, they're selling brands. But how many have a deal where for the next 50 years you're gonna buy my cotton? Okay, imagine if you go to an influencer, just say, brother, look, for the next 50 years, buy my cotton, and I'll market your business. These types of consciousnesses is what is awakening our people really all over the world. One of the great utilities that we have as a reminder is the last speech of Dr. King. And it's not I have a dream. Right? Right?
Amen.
Right? He said, what was that?
Drink
what was that
coffee,
company?
listen podcast.
Wonder Bread. We've come to get our check.
Watch time, go down, you know?
Okay?
Yeah.
Wonder Bread should be buying our wheat.
That's a picture.
Because it's equity. Equity is. Let me just share this.
I know.
I don't know how much time is out, but I know our time is limited. But equity. When you think of equity, a lot of us think of shares of a company. Equity is a share in the bounty from the Lord. That's equity. That's what real equity is. And I'm just negotiating anywhere from 5 to 8% of the budget, which is the marketing budget. I'm not in the equitable situation. There's no equity in there.
Yeah.
Right? And we got not all, but most black-owned marketing firms are trying to negotiate between 5 and 8% of the budget, a piece of it. Not even the whole thing. It's just a piece of that 5 to 8%, right? Which may be less than 0.5% of the total budget. It's not less. What I'm saying
Sure fix it.
In the scenario is that when you talk about the bounty from the Lord, you're negotiating with a company, the equity looks like the supply chain. Okay, that's where the equity is. Because no matter what you call it, if it's a company like Georgia Pacific or Mars Corporation, or you're talking about Procter and Gamble, these companies own these huge brands. And brands are harvesting and processing raw material, and they need it as a commodity. So why wouldn't it be negotiate equity?
And that's next level, man. And I hope y'all are paying attention and can really unpack what's being said here, because especially now, right, where, like you said, the influencers have the power, but they're using their power, and myself included. We're getting these deals, if you will. Who's supplying your cotton? Who's supplying the material that you're clothes with? And let me get a percentage of that. I think that's the next level. And then even when you talk about private label, right? I think like about people or our brothers who are in the healthcare space or need products and services that they could actually attach to their brand. That's something that's important. So now fast forward, because you talked about import, export, Africa.
Yes.
Let's talk about Africa, because so two things I want to make sure we cover before we go is Africa and reparations.
Yes, sir.
Right. How important is it for us here in the diaspora, or not in the diaspora, but here in the U.S.,
that bridge, doing business with our African brothers and sisters?
I mean, thanks for that question. That's a big question, and that is a question that.
Still get some. Okay.
That is descendants of the continent. Okay, it's extremely important that we understand.
Thanks for your support. Thanks for your support.
And that
Go ahead.
share with you how important it is for us to bridge with the continent. So what I mean by that, how important, of course, I understand our culture. There is a moral value built into our culture. Okay, my name is Latron Price, right? Price is a European name. Okay, that European world believes they own us to the degree where I don't know the exact name of my ancestors that are probably on the continent of Africa. Okay, when we think of that construct, you heard Malcolm X say he changed that from Malcolm to Malcolm X. When we hear these stories, but they're so distant in connectivity. Transatlantic experience. It wasn't just slavery, it's a whole experience. Okay? That experience has an enormous moral value. In fact, one of the very unique positions that Prince Williams or Prince Harry Black American of that moral value, which would give respite to the ills of their fathers. This is a heavy statement I'm making. Yeah. Okay, and I'm gonna get to the answer, but I need to understand this framework. So King George II founded the state of Georgia, and today the state of Georgia is named after King George II from England to this day. And he did it with the Georgia Charter. Okay, in the Georgia Charter, he sent James Oglethorpe as the first governor for this state. And James Oglethorpe initially had banned enslavement in the state of Georgia. And King George brought prisoners from England in this thing called the Oglethorpe Plan. And when he brought these prisoners here, and he gave them land, free land. And their responsibility was to harvest the land and send back the bounty of the Lord to England. Let me tell you why this is so unique for us as it relates to Africa's Black Americans. We were imprisoned in the form of enslavement. The repair is not a cash. It's important that we have access to capital. That's a societal exchange, critical. Yeah. But the cash or the capital access, if I give it to you without land, there's no repair. It's only a pacifying moment of, let's call it PPP loan. Okay? Right. But if you give us land, as you gave the prisoners from England, to the Black American, and you begin to repair the moral equity as it relates to what God gave us all for free, which is land, and the harvesting and the bounty of the land. And we begin to connect that with the continent, particularly moving U.S. goods into Africa and the African goods into the U.S. It would be I would definitely consider the real steps to what Moses received as repair. He didn't get a chariot to freedom from Pharaoh. He didn't give him that nice chariot with the gold rims on it. He didn't give him that. God gave him and inspired him to go after land. The inspiration to our community, as I'm sharing this with you, and that question is so heavy, I'm inspiring us to go after land. And not only go after land, Go after land in a way that you are intentional about connecting to the continent.
Yeah.
So in Africa, they have land too, right? But remember, they're under that colonial rule. So the moral equity, not only for the Black American that has built up, there's a moral equity built up on the continent. And when you look at Ghana, or you look at Nigeria, or Togo, or even the Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo, the DRC, you know, they produce these minerals, and they produce these utilities that we use in our cell phones. Yeah. Okay. What we could do for trade and what repair look like is, one, start where your feet are. So if you're in Fulton County, where we are right now, the city of Atlanta, organize a group of your team. It could be your cousins, your aunties, your uncles, your brothers, your sisters. Just organize some folks and say, hey, where can we find land? And let's start producing something. Okay? Now, it costs money, right? So we might be from the hood and we might be on public assistance, right? They got USDA loans to help you buy land. And remember, that moral equity, if enough of us request the access, there's a flood of opportunity comes. Most importantly, we got to know to go look. Okay? Yeah. So we should get very familiar with the USDA website. We should get very familiar with the Farm Service Agency. Farm Service Agency, when you run this, I want you to put these websites at the bottom of the thing. So the USDA.gov and the Farm Service Agency. And you can look at your location. So when you go to location, and let me tell you what the Farm Service Agency is, so we really know what that is, right? The Farm Service Agency is a consultant that the federal government pays for to local communities to develop the farms. Wow. Okay, so they're paid staff, personnel that is there to help you navigate the resources to start in a farm. Wow. To collect from the bounty of the Lord. Yeah. Let me say it that way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The other piece about Africa that I want to just quickly touch on, we're in the middle of some really unique things with our organization. So we have several different parts of our company. One of our companies is American Sales and Distribution Services. And we're marketing to African producers. We're marketing to governments across the continent. We're marketing to cooperatives to aggregate commodities that we could distribute to the U.S. market. So where it's usually going from the U.S., I'm going to use an example, Kraft Foods going over there, we're saying, hey, we're going to take your consumable goods and let's bring those here and let's get those in the markets to this black population here in the U.S., the consumable market, the consumable goods. And it's not just black. We know one thing about Africa is it's one of those frontiers where food is really still real food. Yeah. Okay. So they don't call it organic because there's organic policy that's made. You got to pay for that, right? And there's a whole navigation for that. But these are best practices. This is a seed, soil, and God's mercy. Okay. And they're getting a harvest. Okay. So a tomato going to taste like a tomato. Okay. And so the best practice that's coming out of Africa, the soil is so rich. I don't know. Have you been? Have you had it?
Not yet. In God's will. Inshallah.
Okay.
I will be there.
We got witnesses.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, we got witnesses. Yes, now, Ash Cash, yes, we're going to do the Ash Cash Africa tour. Okay?
All right. It's on tape.
Okay. We're going to do the Ash Cash Africa tour, and we're going to connect with the English-speaking countries first. Yeah. We're coming to the Francophone countries. But we're going to connect with the English-speaking countries just to make it easy for connectivity and tourism. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Hey, Shot, you ready? Inside the Vault Africa. You know where you heard it first.
Inside the Vault Africa. Let's go. So we're going to make that happen, man.
Yes, sir. We have to. Yes, sir. God's will.
When we do that, and you start making that comments on this product, mind you, they watch this all over the world.
Absolutely.
Okay. So right now,
because actually, like, true story, in We chart in a lot of countries in Africa. In
Wow.
football already. Yeah.
Wow.
So we're in 156 countries. So
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, my brothers on the continent, I tell you,
Yes, sir.
it's we come in.
Yeah.
We've already come.
Yep.
Okay, many of us come, but particularly your platform, brother. You've been blessed with the ability to communicate.
Yes.
And you understand finance. You understand the value of capital.
Yes.
You understand people and personalities. Those who matriculate from, as a sister you just had, from poverty into wealth.
Yes.
Okay. One of the challenges is we don't know what to do with our wealth.
100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brother, as you're doing this and we're saying we're going to Africa, we're not just going to go to Africa. We want to say, hey, what access to land that is producing land that we can find relationship with?
Yes.
What access to U.S. estates as it relates to real estate in supply chain can we acquire? Brother, if you just make that a part of your mission, you know, and God has blessed you to see it through books.
Yes.
Right? How many books you got?
15 right now.
Say it again.
15.
You have 15 books.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you see a product go from an idea onto a canvas of paper,
Yeah.
and then be formed a book. And that product being sold. There's a supply chain to that book. Imagine if you were able to reshape that and say, not only am I going to do books, I'm going to do things that allow us to survive in the society, such as food, allow us to survive in the society, such as food, clothing, or shelter.
100%.
Okay? You begin to put products behind that. And not only do we put products behind it, we put the influence, because you can get a white label product, it can sit on shelves.
100%. Yeah.
Okay? And it have dust on it.
Yeah.
Right? Or you end up throwing it away. No. We don't want that. What we're looking for is the engagement of people to engage in the value of a product. Okay? So as an example, we talked about the kale, right? Tassili's buys a lot of kale. Kale. Okay? The farm that is producing the kale, and I mean this with love, is not coming from our community.
Yeah.
But it's a consumable product.
Right.
That's to replicate it. It's a useful tool.
Right.
We just keep harvesting the kale.
Right.
These are the products that allow for a school to be built, for a hospital to be formed, for what's called repair. Repair is not just having a Gucci bag and a nice house and a home. That ain't reparation.
Right.
Okay, reparation is to develop a community that's self-sufficient.
Yeah.
Okay, when you look at the repair that was provided to the Japanese, you look at the repair that was provided to the Jewish community, you look at the repair that was provided to this is a very controversial piece. The repair that was provided to European white men and women.
Yeah.
That reparation, just in the end of slavery, there was a loss of debt from the debtors. Okay?
Yeah.
So when the Royal Crown had paid for these people to come over here on these boats and put all this money up, and they took this land, and they believed they had a debt. When they went to Haiti and they believed that they sent investment into setting up Haiti and getting Haiti established, they believed they had a debt. It was a repair paid. Haiti paid a repair to France.
$60 billion.
Come with it.
$60 billion.
$60 billion.
Crazy.
Imagine what the Royal Crown was paid for the South. Okay?
Yeah.
For the United States, that we don't even know those dollars.
Yeah.
Have anybody talked about those
Yeah,
dollars?
nobody talks about it. It's a fact.
It's real money.
Yeah.
And not only was real, there's a special relationship with England and the U.S. to this day. And that special relationship, when I look at the television, I see Prince William's right now, King Charles is on the throne, right? Why do I know that? Why is that relevant to my life in America?
That's a good point.
Because it's a special relationship of wealth and debt.
Right. right.
So to that point, and to the heavy thoughts that we're dropping here,
Man.
we need to make sure that Africa becomes our trading partner, and we need to take advantage of the programs called Agora. Agora is one of the U.S. incentive programs for tax-free, duty-free goods from Africa to come into the U.S. Okay, wow. So if you're a minister of trade and investment on the continent of Africa, reach out to Ash Cash.
Let's go. Listen, y'all, we're going to have to do a part 2 because there's so much I want to unpack. But listen, I'm going to need y'all, number one, y'all going to have to rewind and go to all of the sites, right? I know you didn't go to the sites, or you could have paused it and went to the sites, but go to the sites, really learn about the power of agriculture, really learn about true wealth, right, that comes from the land, that comes from God. The Most High God has provided for us for free. Every time you said that, I kept thinking about the meme with Orlando Brown. He was like, they make us pay for apples,
right,
for water. God has given it to us for free.
Right.
So if people want to connect with you,
yes,
where can they find you?
Well, you can reach me, the easy way. I'm going to just put you to social media. Instagram is Latron P. At Latron P. That's Latron, the letter P. I'm in Atlanta. I'm easy to find. Latron Price is my name. Yep. And then we also at the State Farmers Market off 75, the largest food depot in the Southeast. The largest food depot in the Southeast. We have a warehouse there. We have an operation there. And you can find me there as well. And then more than that, brother, I tell you, you can find me at the Atlanta Masjid. Yes. Okay, the Atlanta Masjid on Glenwood. Come join us. It's a different day where diversity of faith becomes one faith. And I want to talk about that one day. I don't know if this is the day, but we got to really understand what's the difference between a Christian and a Muslim.
Yes. Can we talk about that real quick? Because and real quick, right? Because
I got time.
The one thing that I grew up Christian as well.
Yeah.
I am a proud Muslim, right? And one of the things I'm not gonna say hate, right? Because that's not even in my spirit to do. But there is a hijacking that I call a hijacking of God,
right?
That I see happens all the time, and I'll just say specifically, recently I posted something about Dawn Staley, who won the women's basketball national championship. And I found it interesting that every time she kept giving the glory to God. Right. And I love that, right? I loved it. They tried to make her apologize for it. She kept giving the glory to God. And so I posted about it, and I kept saying, man, I love this, and I'm sharing this beautiful thing. And there was just this hijacking of, she's talking about Jesus Christ, right? She's talking about Jesus Christ. And I'm saying, I'm saying to the people in the comments, I'm not saying this, but in my head, I'm saying, why is there such a division between what Christians may believe about Muslims? And, why is there such a division? So can you talk a little bit about that a little bit?
I will. Bismillah. So first of all, I consider myself a Christian. And I'm also a Muslim. And there's a great story about the Abyssinian king and the Prophet Muhammad. When Prophet Muhammad was being chased, he fled. And he fled over into Ethiopia. And this is a Christian community that he fled to. And when they seen him make prayer and they dialogued with him, the Abyssinian king said to him, what is the difference between Islam and Christianity? And the response was a line in the sand. There's no difference. Yeah. Now, to your question, to your point, Christianity is such a beautiful faith when it's done purely for the heart. And I love that about the way I grew up. Yeah. When you're talking about the understanding of the creation, Islam gives us beautiful tie into all of that heart, love, and trial and triumph that comes through Christianity, the Quran allows that to be merged into almost just a scenic view of God.
100%.
Okay, now here's where you got these diversions of thought, right? Or these diversities. That is diversions. They really off track. There is a competition over God, but yet everybody say there's only one God.
Yes.
Okay, so when you're talking about the fact that we talk about the same God,
Right.
no matter what you call him be,
Right.
Yahweh, Yahweh, Allah, even when they call Isa the Lord or Jesus, there's a beautiful scripture in Quran. And this, I couldn't accept Islam without knowing this surah. And so I encourage our community, those that are battling over this very simple piece, to go to the Holy Quran and go to chapter 3. This is the Quran. The Quran is the spiritual document. We call it our book. The spiritual document that leads the faith. Okay, in chapter 3, which is called a surah, chapter 3, an ayat start at, you can read the whole thing. It's called the family of Imran. But I'm gonna start at 45. I will start a little earlier than that, but I want to, just for the sake of time, I want to jump to 45. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. That means in the name of God, the most merciful, most beneficent, most merciful.
When you're with Amex Business Platinum, you have the card that works just as hard as you do. You give 150% to your business, and so does your card. With 1.5 times membership rewards points on select purchases, you earn rewards that can take your business further. And with complimentary access to more than 1,400 lounges globally, including the Centurion Lounge, you can stay up to speed no matter where your business takes you. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/Amex Business.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get one line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Boston Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
So that can work some sort of way where like people can know like, all right, I can get a dessert, but also can learn about these people's story in a much more intricate manner. So like I think typically when you see entrepreneurs in a dessert space or even in a food and beverage space, you just see an end result. You don't see the backstory or the process. So our goal is to shoot content every 3 months, release the content online with a box of desserts, and then gift our community with the desserts, but also the content is going to be free. And I got that from you because you over deliver. And when I met you, you allow me in your space for free. I remember like y'all niggas even treated me like to the Snow Allegro concert. You probably don't remember, but y'all did so many things.
That was classic.
Yeah, it was classic. It was crazy. Yeah. So you done so many things for me. So when you brought up over delivering, I was like, yo, I know what I'm going to do. All of the money that I make, specifically developing the content, I'm going to just put it all back into the community by giving the people my story for free. And hopefully they buy into the desserts as well.
So,
and then for people who might not necessarily want the dessert, but there for the content, that's a bonus as well. So it's kind of like you can't lose either way.
So what's the website and all the information?
So our website, baby, man.
Yeah, so our website to subscribe to get the 7 streams and the pound cake drop is the Brown Collective. Right now, when you go to the Brown Collective, it will tell you, it will get your information immediately. So that way, when we have the drop, it's going to be right there for you. So that's how you're going to find the 7 streams and the educational pieces that both Derek and myself share. If you're looking for Cloudy Donut, we're cloudydonut.com with the 4 stores. The truck is going to be moving around. We're about to get ready for the truck tour.
Yeah, the truck going to be in LA. If you're in LA, pull up on us. All of the truck information is on Instagram. We're doing the first pound cake drop is the first week of April. So whoever, like, and I'm going to be honest with you. So we only doing 1,000 boxes. So we're only doing 1,000 boxes to start off, and then we're gonna continue to build from there. But our goal is just focusing on craftsmanship, making sure the customers got the right thing, and so we're doing 1,000 boxes. And if you subscribe to the content, you can get that as well. If anyone subscribes to the content outside of the 1,000 boxes, you will get those boxes additionally, but it'll be like a 2-week time because we want to make sure everybody get the right thing.
Yeah.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
And the product has been tested and proven. I'm talking any donuts, not specifically vegan. Yes, because it's vegan, it's incredible. And yes, you are, brother. The product is incredible.
Oh, thank you, brother.
I mean,
appreciate
the donuts are just phenomenal.
Yeah.
And the way that they look.
Yeah,
it's important, man.
Where dreams come true.
Absolutely.
That's
what we tell them. Cloudy Donut. Donut stop believing.
And they told me that they're gonna name a donut after us at some point. But we appreciate you, my brother.
Man, thank y'all, man. I appreciate it. Yeah,
Much
for having
success.
us.
Continued blessings and keep inspiring the people and support.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate
tell
that.
them we sent you when you come.
Cloudy Donut.
Yeah, that's a fact. And then if you're here, I'm gonna give y'all this as a tidbit. If they got the sweet potato rolls, get about 4 of them. About
Sweet
4.
potato cinnamon rolls. Some of the flavors that we got: brown butter chocolate chip, sweet potato pie, cinnamon rolls. We got brown sugar pineapple upside down cake, and I'm really excited about the basil olive oil cake. That's my thing,
Oh, that's new.
Yeah.
that's
Okay. Yeah. So y'all adding things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, y'all.
I thank y'all.
Thank you guys.
There it goes.
There it is.
Yes, sir.
When you're with Amex Business Platinum, you have the card that works just as hard as you do. You give 150% to your business, and so does your card. With 1.5 times membership rewards points on select purchases, you earn rewards that can take your business further. And with complimentary access to more than 1,400 lounges globally, including the Centurion Lounge, you can stay up to speed no matter where your business takes you. That's the powerful backing of American Express. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/Amex Business.
Ocean State Job Lot has a special offer for all shoppers who wear shoes. Department store footwear that sells for an average of $100 each sells at Job Lot for $25. How do we know? We get them from the famous department stores and they tell us. Listen up and get the shoes for free. Buy 2 pairs, a $200 value. For $50, we'll give you $50 back as a crazy deal gift card. $200 worth of shoes for free? Now that's crazy. Nothing beats inflation better than shopping for free.
Craving something fresh and vibrant for dinner? Roach Brothers Supermarkets has got you covered. This week, treat yourself to the unbelievable tenderness of our certified Angus beef prime top round roast for just $5.99 per pound. Or dive into the delicious with our premium salmon fillets, just $10.99 per pound. Looking for something easy? Grab something from the kitchen. Our Greek lemon chicken salad or small lemon chicken dinner is only $9.99 and perfect for a satisfying meal. Shop in store or online at roachbros.com.
For a limited time at Verizon, you can get our best price ever for a single line. Just $45 per month when you bring your phone, which is less than you spend on Too Tired to Cook takeout every week. Get 1 line on Unlimited Welcome for $45 per month with AutoPay plus taxes and fees. Visit your local Boston Verizon store by April 2nd to save. $20 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on Unlimited Welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G and 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, man. We find dope people that do dope stuff, man. And today is no different. And I kind of want to have a deeper conversation today because there's a lot of people that focus on the money. And even on this podcast, we talk about how to become financially successful. But there are a lot of different ways to become successful. And we're going to talk about a bunch of them today. And my guest today is very, very impressive. Yeah, I'm impressed by you.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
I'm impressed.
Thank you.
You do a lot of stuff I can't do.
Okay. But
Maybe it's
you
not.
you can do it. You haven't got
Maybe
to
not.
it yet.
Yeah, maybe it's not that I can't do these things.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten myself to want to.
There you go. You're still flirting with it.
Yeah. So you're going to do a bunch of attacking me on this, but I'm going to be on the hot seat today, okay? But Carlos, what's up, man? Introduce yourself, brother.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Carlos Patterson, and I'm the growth strategist.
Growth strategist?
Yeah.
In what way?
In a way that any area of your life that you need growth, specifically for me is business scaling, mindset, and relationship training. I help you grow in that exponentially.
Yeah. So I want to start with this, okay?
Sure.
This It says Abbott World Marathon Majors. It has Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, Chicago, New York. What is this? What does this represent?
This represents the 6 world majors. This company, only about 30,000 people have been inducted into this. So I completed all 6 world majors around the world. I've done 4 in 1 year.
But when you say completed world majors, what is a world major?
A world major marathon.
Okay.
Every marathon is 26.2 miles. So I've done all 6 of them to complete, to be inducted into this Hall of Fame.
You ran 26 miles in Tokyo, Boston, London, Berlin, Chicago, and New York City.
Yeah, every race. Yeah.
All right, how do you get yourself to do it? Because I can't stay on the treadmill longer than 15 minutes. How do we, okay, were you always like that? Like I'll just push my body?
Well, I always push my body, but actually I started getting back into it when I got into entrepreneurship. So I did this throughout high school. I grew up a competitive swimmer. I ran, did a little bit, but I took a big break when my son was born. And when I started entrepreneurship, some had to give. So the giving was the training. And I just felt very, very empty.
What was the business? Personal training?
No, my first business I started.
Yeah, well, while you had your kids, you said you had to
I started my first business. That was All Around Aquatics.
Okay.
That was my swimming and safety company.
Got it.
So I basically took, I say, a hobby, and I turned it into a full-fledged business. And from that, starting that business, knowing nothing about business, the big thing I found was managing my stress. And the best management I knew going throughout college, anytime, was training.
Got it.
That was my best way. So I always had an emptiness not doing it. And when I was able to, because it puts your mind, body, and spirit together.
Training does.
Yes, it puts them in alignment. So
explain that to me.
Well, they say when you run a 5K, you're getting in shape, but when you run a marathon, you're getting closer to God, because you're spending so much time out there. And it's something that athletes go through, especially when you run a marathon. It's called hitting a wall. And when you hit that wall, it's your body telling you to stop. It's saying, we're in danger. You should probably stop.
Yeah.
Well, an athlete knows how to override that safely. And he's done that consistently, or she, in practice so many times, that when you hit that wall in the race, you're now telling the body that the mind's in control. I got this. We're good. And we're going to keep going. So you see along the race, all these medical tents, like every 2 miles. And it's a whole mind trip of, I could just stop right now and go in there. And you see people taking that out. And you see people falling out, and you see people getting cramps. And you still have to focus on your cadence, your breathing, and all these things. So there are a lot of things going on than just the physical. The mental, the psychological part, and then the spiritual part, where you're really getting in alignment, because you train the body, hopefully. So it's going to do what it's going to do. But now you got to trust the process. All that work you put in, trust the process. So my training went in perfect alignment with entrepreneurship, how hard it is. I knew that when I consistently put myself in challenging situations, that's when I grew the most. So I trained the most when I did the most in business, and it was just in perfect alignment.
I think maybe for myself, I manufacture a wall. So once it starts to get tough, that might not even be my body's wall, but it starts to get tough. I just don't want to do this anymore. So I'm leaving the gym, and I'm proud of myself for actually going to the gym. So how do you know it's a real, your body is saying, yo, you got to stop. Or my mind is just saying, this is uncomfortable. This is my limit. I don't want to do that anymore.
Good question, man. So I say the first thing is, I am known for having a no excuses lifestyle. I don't hit snooze. In the morning, I don't. Zero excuses. If I'm late, I I have the highest standard of myself and what is expected of me than anyone outside of me. So I guess going with your own standard is number one. Number two is you give yourself credit for showing up, but beyond that, those pat on the backs are not enough. I actually, in my head, if I don't train, I've now associated with something that I'm going to miss really dearly in my life. So, once you hit your 40s and stuff like that, I have my children. I don't want to miss my daughter graduating because I'm unhealthy. I look good, but how's my heart? How's my pressure? How's my things? I want to be in shape so I can walk her down the aisle. So I've convinced myself that the days I don't show up for myself, that may happen. So I always say, if your why doesn't put a tear in your eye, then, it's not really something that is going to push you for sustainability of waking up every day, doing that 200 push-ups you were doing. I'm going to ask you too. Are you still doing the 200?
I'm not doing the 200. I'm doing something, just not 200.
Okay,
because it was a challenge. So, and maybe that's my issue too. So I can push myself for a challenge if like my morning meetup community, we did like 35 hard.
Yeah.
We didn't do 75 hard.
Yes.
Okay, it's like 30. It's like a 35 medium.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have these lists of things that we're going to do.
Yes.
But after it's over, I get back to me.
And that's normal. So a trick that a lot of athletes do is what's called book the next race before that one's over. Because what we do is we get intoxicated with the process of the training program, not just the destination. Once we cross the finish line, it's done. I get one of those, that's that. But I have another race, so I have to keep that training program so that I am ready for the next race. So it's booking the next thing. So I get out of one challenge, set up another one. If that's what works for you, you start to put mechanisms in place so you can win. Me, when I was working from home, I put a pull-up bar in the doorway of my bedroom. So whenever I go there, I signed I got to do 10. So it was either stay out the bedroom or knock these 10 out. So I put a bunch of mechanisms in my life to actually win. It's called winning your day. How do I win my day? I set myself up to win. So I put all these things in place so I can actually win. I purposely park a little further so you can get a little walk in.
Yeah.
I purposely, if you go into the 6th floor, get off on the 4th so you can walk up too. The little things we do. Lance Armstrong wrote a book called Washing Your Cottage Cheese. And I think it was an article. And it was literally the little things we do just to get an edge in life. And it's watching those little things. So if I want to, I'm not going to beat myself up like I don't eat meat, but I'm not going to beat myself up about eating fried food or eating the cookie I know I shouldn't, because I don't want to associate bad energy with the ingestion of what I'm doing. I'm just going to take a note of that and make sure next time I'm not walking up the cookie aisle. Because I know cookies are my weakness.
Yeah.
So I'm not walking up the cookie aisle.
Yeah. So it's that one decision to not even be around it.
That's it. I mean, they say in AA programs, the first thing is disassociation from that area or that lifestyle or those people. So sugar is a drug. We kind of know that by now. Things that, we get these cancers, and most of it is because of lifestyle. 70% of cancers are lifestyle choices. So if we understand those things, then that means we are complete creators of our entire life. All the things we pick up that we probably shouldn't, and that doesn't have to do with what we put in our mouth, but energy, situations, all that good stuff. So when I understand this, then if I want to be a better version of myself, if I do want to start working out, let me put something in there that's going to anchor me into taking action daily.
You know what I've observed? When someone has a mindset, kind of like you, like we're going after it.
Yes.
That sometimes it affects the personal side of our lives because maybe the people around us aren't as driven or motivated, and it's hard to separate the two. My wife may not be as inspired or motivated to work out, and I am, and this is the lifestyle that I've developed, and she may feel that there's some sort of air of arrogance, or even if I'm in my heart, I'm trying to push you. She's not built that way.
Yeah.
And sometimes there can be this separation, or even if you're not saying anything in a negative way, internally, they might feel a way.
Absolutely.
And that's what creates the pressure that they're creating on themselves, on their own.
Yeah.
So what have you experienced on the personal side of having this mindset that we are going to win at all costs?
Well, one, you have to be prepared to win. And being prepared to win is not an exception of not caring about others, but is understanding that we are all adults and you are responsible for your feelings and where you are. But I'm not going to allow that to sabotage where I am. I'm not going to say because we bonded so much Netflixing and eating popcorn and eating this or eating that, that now I no longer do that. I'm not going to, I'm going to do my best as a responsible person to make sure we still had a Netflix moments. And I'm going to give you your popcorn, but I'm going to have my fruit. So I'm not going to challenge you. A lot of people try to do this when they get on their journey. They want everybody around them. Kids, let's go. Your lady, let's go. Let's go. This person. And you're talking about it and you're excited. But what people follow more is your consistency.
Yeah.
So when we get on fire, we want to involve everybody. I mean, it's kind of like starting where you started. Not everybody saw the vision.
Yeah.
They always say, sometimes you can't tell your eagle dreams to pigeons. And it's not because the pigeons are, down here. It's just that they can't see from the heights of which it was birthing you and given to you. So respect that. Respect that at one point you were a pigeon. You wasn't on your workout journey. You wasn't on this and that. That's where they are. That's fine. Now you are where you are. This is birthing you, is burning in you. Get started. Put all that energy into that. And by osmosis, by your aura, they will start to feel that energy. So either they're going to get in line or just respect it. But you got to allow them to have their process.
For sure. But sometimes it's the pressure. So it's not like, all right, I'm condemning you for eating the popcorn, but I grabbed my fruit.
Yeah.
Me eating the fruit is like, oh, well, you do your thing. I do my thing. We are together. We're going to watch this movie.
Yeah.
But on the other side, as that other person is eating their popcorn, internally they feel like, oh, this is awkward. I don't feel, not that you made them feel a certain way, but this clear separation of I am on this path of greatness, of winning, and maybe I'm not, and it causes you to kind of separate ways, which is unfortunate because you can't dumb down your own process for that relationship, or can you?
Well, it's not dumbing down your process. What it is you have to make sure that you are allowing that person to go through their process of accepting where you are right now. So as men, we always want to fix everything. This is what we want to do. We feel a little inklet, something uncomfortable. You all right? We want you to be all right, especially someone we really care about, our wife, our loved one. We really care about that person. We want you to be good. But at the same time, we have to understand that just as we raise children and we got to give them tough love, and when your daughter fall, you're not running over there, if she not hurt real bad, you're like, baby girl, you good. Come on, get up. Okay, we're also doing that teaching with each other. So I got to let her sit with that just a little while, because she has to do what she need to do inside to say, you know what, be consistent. And, baby, I was, tripping a little bit when you started with the I'm not eating this and I'm not doing that. But I understand where you're going with this. You got to allow that to happen. So you got to stand on your own too, in your square, and on your new principles, your new story. That's the thing. See, I always say when you're creating, what follows is chaos. We saw it in the Bible with the creation at the beginning. Chaos follows. It's a natural process. So when you're creating a new story, the chaos will follow.
Yeah.
It's going to get crazy. I saw when I was finishing my master's, it's like everything started happening. Like life started happening. You know, my sister got ovarian cancer. This, that. I mean, it's everything was happening. And last year, you know, when you're breaking into new modes, things start happening, you know, and it's understanding and trusting this process. Like, I've been here before, you know, and you can identify, and you have been there before. It's really tough when it hits close to home because you're like, it got to be, no. It's the same thing. You've been here before. You built a business. You've been here before. When I tried something new and it didn't kind of turn out the way I wanted. Well, have you eliminated that you're no longer losing in life? You're only winning and learning? Because if that's the case, take from it what you must to create your stairs and your foundation. Leave the rest.
Yeah. Do you do personal coaching?
Yes, one-on-one.
How do you take someone? I understand the way I'm seeing the world is flawed, and I know I have these issues, and I'm a quitter. I start something, I never give it a chance to grow, and then I start something else, never give that a chance to grow, and start something else. I've seen this pattern. I've been, at building a business for the last 15, 20 years, and I cannot seem to get any motion in any of it. And it's probably coming from a thought process, a mindset shift. You're sitting in front of someone and they clearly understand they need help with that. What are the steps and stages that you're taking people through to break that?
Well, a big problem is consistency. That's most people's problem. It's the consistency. So when we talk about consistency, is holding on to an identity that no longer supports you. So you told me about all this quitting, right? That's your identity. You hold on to that. It's like someone telling me that I have ADHD. So when you introduce your flaw, it's almost like your get out of jail free card. So whenever something gets a little tough, or whenever I press you on that issue, you're like, look, I'm normally a quitter. This is what I do. We have to rewire our identity. And that's like the first step. You have to understand we got to change the language we use. I don't use problems. I use promotions, because in my head now, when I hear promotions, it means, all right, I'm going through this thing right now. And if I get it right, I can help someone else. So I reframe the vocabulary that works best for my life. And when we get to a certain age and we get out of our parents' house and things like that, we have to, as responsible adults, that's like I tell my kids, start reforming words that work for you. Take ownership of those words and start, so that way we're reprogramming our subconscious all the time. No, I'm not a quitter. I just haven't found anything that I cared about enough to put my energy into.
So the first step is working on our own language.
Work on your own language. That inner self-talk, that outer self-talk. But you know what? Just wasn't emotionally attached to what I was doing right there.
It's harder though if you've been with that same mindset for the last all your life, right? And
now
it's hard to quiet the voices.
Yes, because you're still holding on to the old identity. So the first part is the language, and we're constantly doing that. Remember, we cannot expedite a journey that you took a long time to curate and become just like this. So if you were patient in that process of getting like that, it's kind of like Nipsey said, life is a marathon. And I add to just make sure you have the right training plan. So if I know life is a marathon, why I'm trying to sprint to this new me. So trust the process. Like, all right, cool. We're going to put these steps and these mechanisms in place. I'm going to make sure you got some pull-up bars where you need to, put all those things in place so that you are always making sure that you are in the right place. And that was a big reason for me creating my community, was because the fastest transformation I've seen is immersion. So immersion will take you from where you want to be to where you are.
Explain what immersion is.
Immersion is rather I'm doing a one-on-one with someone, which will cost them much more money, but I put you in this immersive state. Let's just say if you quitting all the time. Well, if you're hanging around me and quitting is not what I do, I will put you through a bunch of modalities through your normal workday that reinforces you're not quitting. You understand?
Yeah.
So like I would say, which we are going to do, You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna take this jacket off. Right after this, we're gonna probably bust out 50.
Say less.
Okay. I don't care if they're ugly 50, but we're gonna get 50
It's gonna
done.
be a nice 50. I can
Okay.
hold you.
So we're gonna bust out 50. Why? Because if I want to step into this new place to where I'm not quitting, then I'm always gonna say yes to me.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you got so comfortable lying to yourself. That is no good. And it's not good to lie to other people, but it's even worse to lie to yourself.
Yeah.
So in this reframing process, we have to stop lying to ourselves, because what happens is you get comfortable, and now you got that open door, that back door that says, all right, yeah, I do this all the time. Let me, scurry out of here. That's good. I did enough. So we're no longer doing that. We're reframing. We're making sure we put our own standards in place. We got our language in place. We got a new manifesto of who we are. Mm-hmm. We're now starting to rebuild that new story. And that's the thing. How do we get to that new story? Well, to get to anything new, we got to let go of something.
Mm-hmm.
To get anything new in a cup, we got to pour some out.
Yeah.
So you have to be willing to let go. What are you willing to let go? Because the more you let go, the more you get.
And you were talking about your process of when you had your first child, I believe.
Yes.
You stopped training because it was a
yeah, it was too much.
Pick and choose. Tell me about that.
Well,
were you with the mother? Are you still with the mother now?
No.
Okay.
No, I'm
Were you
single.
with the mother during that process when the child comes?
When it's very interesting. So I had my child, and we were not together. You know, it was kind of that one for the road kind of thing. So we were already out of relationship. And God had a sense of humor. So
give me that one last time.
That one last time, boy. But you know, it was a blessing in the sense that, honestly, if we wait to when we're completely ready, it's like God know when we're ready. Mm-hmm. I went straight into father mode. Mm-hmm. And
did you try to work it out with her at that time?
We tried. Yeah, we tried, and but we knew before that it wasn't, that case. It just happened, and we stepped up when we did the parent thing, and it wasn't easy. It's still never easy. But I always say, you can't change people, but you can always change you, like right now.
Yeah,
and that's to me what made it easier.
Got it. How old's your child now?
I have a 26-year-old, 18-year-old, and a 12-year-old.
So the 26-year-old is the one where you stopped training for that period?
Yes.
Is that your first child? Okay.
Yes.
So I'm trying to understand why you stopped, or what got you out
Some
of that
had
mindset.
to give. I was brand new to business. I didn't know anything about business. I mean, I went into real estate and I didn't know what a mortgage was. So that was the type of business that intrigued me the most. I paid for a mentorship. I'm not going to say which one. I mean, I could put it on blast because they should be doing better than what they did. But I'll say it, Robert Kiyosaki.
Oh, right.
So it was a lot of outdated information. A lot of the information was obsolete. I was learning from people that made their money in the 80s and 90s, and a lot of what they were teaching was not relevant. Double closings and things like that. It wasn't relevant to what I was doing right there.
Yeah.
I'm always thankful for it because it was my first introduction into mentorships and all these things like that. And it gave me a little ground. I always say, I did lose a bunch of money, but it was the cost to go into my next level, my next promotion. And I could have paid $200,000 or whatever to go get an MBA or whatever the case may be. But I'm doing it now with experience.
Yeah.
And I can make immediate adjustments. So, that was my first taste of mentorship, but I could not.
So you're doing business, your business, your child came, dealing with all the stuff that comes with a baby.
Well, a big thing was mother of my child. I don't say baby mama. Yeah. I got to make sure. I started saying mother of my child from the beginning because I want to always keep her in the right frame of mind too.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
when you say baby mama, they act like baby mama. So I never say baby mama. I always say mother of my child.
Okay, so dealing with the mother of your child that y'all not going to be together. And I'm sure it was just as hard dealing with her is dealing with you, right? So y'all had y'all.
That's it.
things,
You know, I'm
so-
not gonna say that's not the case. You always have to take responsibility.
Yeah.
Another huge factor in that was I didn't grow up with my father. I grew up in a single mother household. So me being a father was the greatest thing for me. It's the reason I went into business. I remember sitting and saying, what is he going to say when he go to kindergarten? What your father does now. And I sat with that question. I'm like, okay, he can say, I do this. I graduated, physical therapist, doing the thing. But